Welcome to the first episode of the Cyber Crunch. For those of you who are in business, who have websites on the internet, who are looking to increase your online presence and are interested in things regarding Google, how it ranks websites, how you are found using the Google SEO search engine and all of the search engine optimizations that go with that. But I want to focus more specifically in this little episode on Google's new algorithm changes for 2021, and it's quite a massive departure from the way the algorithm used to index and crawl sites to see how they were ranked. Let's talk about the Google's new algorithm and how they are going to be focusing primarily on what they call page experience. So before we go further, what is page experience and how can you prepare for it, especially if you're a website owner? So let's look at page experience as Google basically says it is according to their own words. And this is a quote from them. The page experience signal measures aspects of how users perceive the experience of interacting with a web page. Optimizing for these factors makes the web more delightful for users across all web browsers and surfaces, and helps sites evolve towards user expectations on mobile. So there's a very big key there that they've already dropped, that by saying on mobile, they are speaking specifically about screens and your different size screens, from mobile to PC to monitor to your 80-inch TVs that you now find are smart TVs in your lounge. You're going to need to be doing some development work on your website and redoing a few things, is basically what they're trying to say due to the new algorithm. And they go on to say, we believe this will contribute to business success on the web as users grow more engaged and can transact with less friction. Now, I know there's a lot of people who don't trust Google, but we are talking about Google here from a purely business sense. So if you're a businessman or a business owner and your business has a website, or your shop has a website, or if you're a photographer or a designer like myself who has a website, you need to know how Google indexes your site in order to promote it. So for me, this is a very good thing. I've been wanting and hoping that this kind of change was going to take place for years now, because I've personally felt that the way sites were indexed according to their popularity with their brand name, and also according to how many people visit the site a year or a month, those were two primary things. But now that focus has shifted, which means a lot of the smaller guys and small sites that wouldn't have been ranked or stood a chance against the bigger guys now can have their websites found, which is awesome for me because my website is small. So the purpose for this update is to make sure that sites that rank at the top aren't creating experiences that the user hates. And the simplest way to think about this update is that user-friendly sites will rank higher than sites that aren't user-friendly. So now let's look back in the past. In the past, even going back 2 years, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, Bidvest, Wits, all the guys that had big names and big websites that had been around with hundreds of thousands of people visiting would automatically get a good ranking in the search engine index for SEO, regardless of whether they had pages that were broken, or if people went to the website and went, I'm not really enjoying myself on this, I can't find where I'm going, the pages are clunky, they take too long to load, all of the stuff jumping around and moving everywhere doesn't really interest me, so that kind of stuff wasn't really worried about. Now all of a sudden Google's aligning everything, so everything from your fundamental development side of things, from coding right up to your user interfaces, right up to your responsive design, to your actual digital graphic design elements on the page, what they consist of, how much or how little of it you're using, and do you give the user something that when they go away and it's perceived by Google, because the algorithm can only perceive things, it doesn't know, and it's perceived by the algorithm that your user left with a good experience, your site is going to get a very big tick from Google. But this change, like I said, is the start of a big shift in SEO. And Decent Digital Design, myself, have been thinking about this for the last 2 years already. And this is how I've been developing our design strategy regarding all forms of social media, your platforms, your WhatsApps, your emails, your websites, your design elements. We've been talking about this for the last 2 years already. So why is the update so important? What sites do you think Google wants to rank at the top now? Well, Google wants to rank the sites at the top that users love the most. So here's what I mean. When you go out and you buy a pair of athletics shoes, what brand comes to mind? 99% of people will go Nike. And if you had to guess, I bet you had thought about Nike. So this is why brand queries, which are the number of users who search for your brand name on Google and click on your website, impact rankings, like I said before, because people will search for a specific brand they know. But if you've got a website like, let's take Roos Group Pty Limited. They're a woodworking machinery factory in Pietermaritzburg, and they've been going for like 38 years now, and they supply industrial woodworking machinery to various sectors of the Southern African industrial market. Their website, having the name Roos Group, doesn't attract much attention if you don't know the name. And for most people searching for woodworking machinery, if you don't have your site set up properly, Roos Group is not going to rank in the top. It's a niche. But that's about to change, because if you've designed that site with core principles regarding user experience and what you are giving the user in order to take away from your site for them to feel satisfied and want to come back again, is going to help you to rank higher. So what Google is doing is adapting its algorithm to align with the mission of showing the sites that are more closely in line with what users love the most. Let's put it that way. They're going to be promoting stuff that gives a good page experience. And I'm getting to what a page experience is. So how do you optimize your user experience? It starts with each page. If you look at the original Google article posted about the future algorithm changes which are taking place right now, they emphasize page experience or website experience. It doesn't mean that your whole website shouldn't have a good user experience, but instead, I bet they are going to focus their algorithm from a page level basis. So each page is going to be looked at on its own on what kind of experience the user gets out of that page, on whether that page is actually giving the user what they want easily and quickly and looking good while it does it. You have a few pages on your website that have a poor experience, but the rest are good. It wouldn't make sense for Google to reduce the rankings of your whole site, especially if many of your pages provide a much better experience than your competition. So here's how you optimize your user experience. You go, number one, we need to optimize your speed, which reduces your errors. The faster your website loads, the better experience you'll have. So I like to say 2 seconds max, and a website page should be loaded from start to finish. Given that South Africa's internet fluctuates all over the place, but if you look at the average internet speed, 14 megabits per second download, through a phone hotspot or through a Wi-Fi router, some drop right down to 1 depending on where you are. So you've got to take this all in mind when it comes to the speed and loading of your page. But it should be 2 seconds, because if it's 2 seconds on a fast internet speed, then on a slow internet speed it's going to be even slower. Remember, broken pages create bad experiences now. So if a person goes to a page that's an error page, Google sees that and notices that you're giving a bad experience on that page because it's an error page. 2, you need to analyze your design. So once you've gone from development level and checked that your development is right with your back end, you then move on to your design elements. And I have a rule for years now, and I base all of my design elements on this, and I call it the 3-click rule. No matter where you are on a site or a page of a site or a landing page, you guys get what I'm saying. You must be able to get where you want to go or get what you want from any page on the site in just 3 clicks from start to finish. Now, Google now looks at what each page offers its users, from pictures being clickable to metadata to the HTML code behind everything. You link to other sites. Do those other sites with those links are they reputable sites? Do they have good reputations online? Are their pages all optimized? All of this will count. Minimalist, high-quality design that loads fast and offers the visitor some value on every page is key. I mean, that's what we concentrate on in decent digital design. It's high-quality, minimalistic designs like we redid the Roos Group websites last year, and they're now ahead of the curve. Their sites are already ranking 10th and 12th according to Google because of the way they are set up to grab the new algorithm when it comes out, which it has now, literally in the next couple of days. I look at websites now from a design perspective as each page being its own self-contained landing page and giving you everything within 3 clicks. So you don't have to go to any other page. If I could rip that page out of the website and just send you the HTML link for that page, you shouldn't want to or have to revert back to the main website. You should be able to get everything you need from that page, whether it's subscribing to a newsletter, downloading content, getting to the checkout, buying an item, looking at products, whatever it is themed for that page, you should be able to get from that page without leaving. Number 3, domain names. Now, a lot of people are still old school with domain names, .com, .net, .org, which have their places, .co.za, blah, blah, blah. Look, keywords are key, excuse the pun, when it comes to search engine optimization. And to have your keywords in your domain name, and even in your name, is really, really good, or your tagline or your slogan or whatever it is. So let me use the example of Risk Group again, because Decent Digital Design is handling their websites and their social media. If you look at their old domain names, now they still use them, obviously we don't throw them away, but we've just added and updated. So think about this now. Let's listen to how this sounds. Before, www.riskgroup.co.za sounds awesome, but there's a lot of things in there like the .co.za and everything that could be changed. The Risk Group could be separated into 2 separate words for the ranking engine to pick it up differently. Do you understand the algorithm? So how much better does www.risk.group sound compared to riskgroup.co.za? It makes a huge difference, guys. So in conclusion, user experience is going to be more and more important over time. And I've been saying this for the last 2 years. I've been designing websites like this. All of my design elements that I put into design, and at Decent Digital Design, we believe in a synergy of platforms. And what do I mean by that? I mean by website as the core, but your social media, from Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, your 3 main ones, depending on your business. Your email campaign strategies, which everything that falls under that is coming from reviews, testimonials, FAQs, all that kind of stuff is key. Your WhatsApp, and going on to new platforms like Telegram and Signal, considering channels. We believe all of that needs to work together at Decent Digital Design, and we believe that online reputation is like real world reputation, where you have to grow your reputation and become trusted and develop your brand and user base on those key principles. So there's no get rich quick schemes here when it comes to digital marketing or design. I'm saying we'll help you put your business on the digital map, so to speak, and our numbers don't lie. That's why I say just phone me, WhatsApp me, and let us chat, and I can show you what we do. It's the best way for me than to just talk. On the flip side though, let's just backtrack a little bit here about user experience, because I'm getting sidetracked. If you love a site and everyone else loves the site, Google will eventually want to make sure that that site ranks higher. That's basically the new algorithm in a nutshell. So even if you only get 500 visitors a year and another site gets 100,000 visitors a year, if that site now with the new algorithm, which is awesome, is giving a bad user experience, your little site that only gets 500 visitors is going to rank higher than that site if 490 of those visitors go away with a good user experience. I love it. On the flip side though, if everyone feels a website has a terrible user experience, then Google won't rank that website as high in the long run, and we can help you with this at Decent Digital Design. So just like any algorithm update Google does, you can expect to see multiple revisions of this algorithm over time, and probably about 4 updates over the course of 2021. As they learn, they adapt and make their algorithms more effective. That's why it's important to speak to people who understand a little bit of what the algorithm looks for. Because you must understand the algorithm is not an entity that thinks on its own. It is a system governed by core principles and protocols. And like any system, it can be manipulated if you know how to set up your site in order to tick the boxes that it wants to tick. But what is unique about this update is you have now got advanced notice to get your sites optimized, which is awesome. So take this opportunity and fix any usability issues that you have. If you are in doubt, contact me and I'll give you all the advice and help that you need. Guys, this is the Cyber Hitchhiker on the Cyber Crunch. I hope this information was insightful. If it was, download the Edify podcast app, the only Christian app for Christian content. And follow us, The Crunch. We will be on there shortly. We are under review at the moment, and our channel should be live in the next couple of days. So we will all see you there on The Crunch. This is the Cyber Hitchhiker signing out. God bless.